Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today, including Elliotte, standing by, brought to you by our friends at the Waddling Dog. Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox. I know you went to Delaney's recently, Ryan. As always, they treated you well, and that's what they do with everybody. This is from Coquitlam Joe. Donnie, Andre Boudria, Super Pest, was also my favorite player. And I know you guys thought maybe my memory wasn't serving me. I was also at the game where he scored against Chicago, 2 men down, 5-on-3. One of the big early moments in Vancouver Canucks history. It's the 70-71 season, when I'm sure Elliotte wasn't around. He joins us now from Hockey Night in Canada and the 32 Thoughts podcast. A busy man. Elliotte, thanks for doing this. How are you?
I'm good, guys. Sorry about this craziness today. I'm in Edmonton, and I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So I appreciate your flexibility.
Are you working on a big story you want to share with our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, Elliotte.
No, I'm not working on anything too big right now. I've been working on some things, but I think we've had enough big stories for a couple of days. That's for sure.
My gosh. Elliotte, did any part of you suspect Mike Babcock wouldn't last long in Columbus? Do you think he had learned his lesson?
He did. I mean, look, I try to be. I try to give people chances. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it, and I try to judge other people the way I judge myself. I want to believe that people who make mistakes can learn from them and get better and improve. I really don't think any other way is the right way to live life if I can avoid it. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the way I look at things, Don. But, the weird thing about last week was just how everything just changed and got strange. Initially, we're in Vegas, Johnny Gaudreau's there, the Players Association's there, the league is there, and the word we're getting is it's not as bad as it was made out to be. And I had players who didn't really like Babcock reaching out to me and saying, or I would reach out to them, they would get back to me and said, my experience with this was not that bad. Everybody admitted it happened, but they didn't necessarily think about it as badly. And then by Tuesday night / Wednesday morning, we realized it was taking a turn and it was potentially bad. And you can't see anything at the time because you have to let it play out. But by Thursday night, Don, I had people telling me this wasn't going to end with Babcock continuing as coach. We had to go through the process. I understand. I haven't had a chance to listen to Business Pod today.
Yeah.
I guess they went into it a bit more. But like I'd reported, I'd heard that there was an incident away from the rink where a player's phone was looked through for several minutes, and you can't have that.
Yeah. The story from the podcast, Elliotte, and maybe you haven't heard it, but he invited a player to his house for lunch, went through his phone, then asked the player to leave without lunch. And if that isn't weird, I don't know what is. Hey, what's in the future for Jarmo Kekalainen and John Davidson in Columbus, Elliotte?
Well, I think they knew that this was a big year for them. I think that's one of the reasons they went and hired Babcock. They felt that their team needed some structure and discipline, and they took the risk. They took that risk because of it. And I think I think Kekalainen knew going into this season that if he didn't have a good year, there was a chance his tenure, which is the third longest in the NHL of any GM, was going to be over. And I think, he took the bet because he knew it. And I don't think this changes anything. I shouldn't say that. Let me correct that. I think if the results are better, then if the results are better, he's probably in a better place. But if the results aren't good, it doesn't change anything. I think that he knew that if this year, and I think you take a look at that statement the other day, Don, it basically said the same thing. This is a big season, and we're not making changes now. But I think everybody knows that if it doesn't go well, then there's going to be changes.
Elliotte, what are you hearing on the Canucks as of right now? We all know training camp opens up Friday. What are you hearing on the Canucks?
Well, I heard you were, putting gasoline on the fire yesterday, Rick. I was watching the clips. I've heard similar things to you. Look, the Tanner Pearson situation, first of all, I just want to say I'm really glad that Pearson appears to be healthy enough to play. I think there were times last year, Rick, and you were out in front of it, that, it didn't look like Pearson was going to be able to play again. The fact is that if he's healthy enough to play, the Canucks can be cap compliant, but they won't be able to carry a full roster, and also they're really going to be heavy on the wing. So I think they are looking around out there to see what's available in order to make a move. Now, I think a couple of things here. Vancouver could play with less than a full roster, but I know that teams that have their kind of travel schedule, they don't always like that. Your American League team is closer to you now, so that's easier. But you guys go on a lot of trips where depth is important. And I know some of the West Coast teams and the tough travel teams, they don't like being short. So that would be as much a talk at Rutherford question as anything else. But the other thing, too, I've kind of wondered is, look, last year was a really tough year for Pearson and the Canucks in his overall situation. He had those surgeries. There were problems. They didn't go well. They had to go back and fix the original surgeries. I think some people have wondered if it just might be a better thing if he's going to start again, if he starts somewhere else. So I'm sure that's the kind of thing that they've looked into. I just don't know what the realistic expectation is of that in terms of moving him or moving someone else from the roster.
But otherwise, Elliotte, are you surprised? I mean, here we are again. They got cap issues. They did sign P.S. Suter, Elliotte. Did that surprise you? Because now they're kind of in a pickle because of the P.S. Suter signing.
Well, the thing is, the one thing about Pearson is, like I said, I really hope he can play, and I hope it's all good. But you just don't know, right? The one thing is, they were looking for centers, and Suter fits what they were looking for. So I'm not surprised they did it. The other thing, too, is, Rick, is guys always get hurt. Things always happen. If everybody stays healthy, which you hope, then Vancouver's going to have to probably do something in terms of what do you do waiver-wise? What do you do to create an opening? But the funny thing about this league is nothing ever goes the way you plan it. Yeah. So you still have a little bit of time to sort that out.
All right.
Hey, Ellie, before we let you go, Marty Walsh reacted very quickly to this Mike Babcock situation, relatively new head of the NHLPA. What did he show you there?
Well, I think that there have been times that the players have wondered, is the Players Association really a strong advocate for us? And I know, I did a lot of reporting in the Eichel situation when he wanted to get his surgery that he wanted, and the Sabres weren't sure they wanted to do that. There were a lot of players who really sided with Eichel, and they were disappointed the Sabres had that much power. And so I think this is Walsh's first opportunity to flex his muscles and show he is going to be a player advocate, and he did. And I think that resonates.
Elliotte, I know you're busy. We'll let you go. We've had quite the show today. All sorts of maneuvering. I'm sure you're familiar with that. Thanks so much, my friend. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
All right, guys. Sorry for my part.
Never apologize, Elliotte. Never.
You don't have to apologize, Elliotte. Thanks so much, my friend.
All right. Take care, guys.